Hey guys, I am going live. I'm waiting on Miss Sabrina. Hi. Why do I look so red? That is a trip. It wasn't like that before. Hi guys, I'm in my Janet Jackson leather jacket because if you haven't heard, Miss Janet Jackson has a documentary tonight on Lifetime and we are geeked. Who's not geeked? Who's excited for Janet Jackson tonight? You guys have to be. Hi, guys. Hi. Oh, wow. There's so many names in here. I can't even pronounce that. Songbird Joseph 1. What's up? Yes. WWE. Okay. Miss Sabrina Seoul is here. We're going to talk about grown woman shit. Come on in, Sabrina. For who watched Ready to Love Reunion? There's a bunch of you out there, right? I want to know what you thought about her decision since it seems to be still a talking point. Is she here? She joined. Hi. It's taking a second. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. Let's see if we can get her in here. I thought it was really impressive to have a woman who just advocated for herself and who was like, I know I'm on TV, but I don't care. I'm doing what's best for me. Hi, Sabrina.
Hey, TANIKA, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can. I don't know why I'm so red all of a sudden. It's bizarre. It's
Everything changed. Yeah, my volume even went down on my phone. I was like, what just happened?
Well, I look like, this is what they call red bone. No, it's not. I'm not. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there.
Right.
We had enough of them problems, right?
Facts.
One love for all women of color. Let's put it, all women, period.
Absolutely.
We go through so much shit in this world, and I'm super excited that you agreed to join me today because I cannot stop thinking about that moment that has now been played over and over where Walter really seemed confused that he wasn't coming for you correct. I know there are a lot of people up in your DMs. What is the most common thing that people are hitting you up with?
Honestly, I am absolutely overwhelmed. DMs from women, pretty much thanking me. Honestly, I mean it's a long list. It's hundreds and hundreds of women sharing their stories with me. And just saying thank you and how I inspired them to make certain decisions in their life currently. And I'm just like, oh God, but I'm like this, if it helps shift your crown, sis, then make it do what it do.
Or polish it off. I'm going to turn this light off and see if I can get the red out. Okay. I look so crazy red. I don't understand. Anyway, Instagram, we got issues. But here's the thing. Yes, you have reminded us, and I had to even go through it myself. Once you know what it feels like to have a man come at you with intention, all that other stuff seems like BS.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we should never come down and say, well, maybe that was a long time ago, or maybe that was my first love, or maybe that guy's just more expressive. We got to stop making those excuses.
Exactly.
And expect number one treatment if we're going to take the time and settle down with them or give them a moment to meet our children even, right?
Right. Absolutely. And that was the problem that I had previously was I was dating people's potentials, and that's it. And honestly, and wanting to feel loved and but the thing is I want to ask the 66 people that's in this live right now, how many times have you said to yourself after a relationship ended 6 months later, I saw those red flags.
We always see it.
I knew he wasn't good for me. You know what I mean? Like, we have to really stop lying to ourselves. And we really have to remember our worth. And I think once we stop lying to ourselves and stop selling ourselves dreams, then I think we're better off in making a decision that is good for us. And it's something that's going to be good long term, not for just in the meantime.
Yes. We stop moving from a place of lust, even though we still want to get it. We stop moving from a place of lust, and we are grown. See, you're the one that I connected to the most because I too am a single mom. Even though I'm co-parenting, I'm a single mom. I'm a grown ass woman. And I'm like, these men, can I tell you, these men are like, I really like you, and then nothing.
Yeah.
I'm literally living this life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how much do you like me if I'm not hearing from you?
Right. Exactly.
What happened to men, Sabrina,
I
where
don't
after 40, they're like, a woman should come chase after me, especially if they're partially successful.
You know what happened? Social media, technology, Instagram, OnlyFans. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, just because the way that a man courts a woman 20 years ago is not how men court women now. I'm going to give you a quick story. Before me going on the show, I've been single for pretty much dang on near 2 years. Within those 2 years, I only went on one date. The one date that I went on, at the end of the date, the guy goes, so how are we going to pay? He's like, you could pay and I can cash app you, or I can pay and you can cash app me. And I was like, in real life, dog, I can pay for the whole thing. It's not that serious. And if you will feel better about yourself, you can leave the tip. Like, I mean, and he asked me out on a date. And I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Your mind. I would be like, oh, and that, I guess it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, I've known him though. I've known him for like, this was someone from like my high school years. So I knew him and we tried to date like 20 years ago. It didn't work out. And then it was like, you know, in the meantime, when I had broke up with my ex 2 years ago, he was the first person and the only person I'd went on a date with. And after that date, I said, you know what? I was like, I'm done. I did not go on my next date until Ready to Love.
So you were like fresh, you were fully in your centered space.
Yes.
You were clear about where the shenanigans lie.
Absolutely.
So that's why you never wavered, which I love so much. But here's the question, because so many people are asking me too, why didn't you ask this question? You know, people don't understand. We were there for 12 hours.
Oh, absolutely.
Every question got asked.
Yeah.
It may not have made, and when you break it down to commercial breaks and 2 shows, it's only about an hour and 40 minutes.
Right.
No, not even that long. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say
20.
no, because 40 minutes, 40. Yeah, it probably about an hour and 20 minutes. That's it.
20. And we shot for 12 hours. So things fall through the cracks. But what I love is that they took a moment to put your story on the platform because it's powerful and it's important. Oh, girl, I'm supposed to tell you. Wait, was that Dre? Okay, there he is, Andreas Branch. He's my photographer. And apparently y'all know each other.
He hit me up. He was like, you know my girl Tanika. I was like, yeah. Oh, I love Andreas. Me and Andreas, we grew up together.
That's what he told me. He
Yep.
was just on the beach with me for my birthday party. That's so funny.
Oh, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Every year you grow older, you're like, okay, how am I going to navigate through these crazy waters? Like, my daughter is saying, Mommy, when are you going to get married? I'm like, chick, first of all, I don't need the pressure from a 7-year-old, okay? First of all, about these men out here.
My daughter ain't having it.
I've had a man that I really adored say, you got to step it up. I'm like, step what up? Like, he wants me to call him and to do. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I understand that once the gender roles kind of got thrown out, I get that. But how are we as women who were always pursued? Now, I know we're not 20, but where are those men that are holding on to wanting to be the hunters? Don't they want to chase? I thought men needed to chase.
No, I don't get that anymore. Unfortunately, I don't. And see, that was the thing. I actually said that in one of my green screens, my interviews that I had. I was like, I don't know why I was really expecting anything different because the men that I dated were from the DMV. And now it's like, just because I'm on a TV show doesn't change the fact that these men are still from the DMV. I'm like, I don't know why I was expecting different results.
M. Galloway 33 says, no, they're supposed to hunt you. You ladies look absolutely amazing. Thank you. I put me first. See, we're putting ourselves first. That's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And what we can't teach our daughters, and I do think I agree with you, first of all, these social media platforms and the easy access to look at big old booties has really screwed everything up, right? Yeah. They're not buying nothing, and they're getting all of it.
Yep.
All of it.
All of it.
So where does a man even need or want or desire to settle down, right? And what is settling down anymore?
Yeah, but the thing is I think that there are a lot of men out here that want to settle down. I really do feel that in my heart. But the thing is the distractions. That's what's causing the confusion. That's what's causing relationships to not really work anymore. That's what's causing all the confusion of, you know, like, I really love her. I want to marry her. I want to be with her. But Marie just called me and hit me up in my D. She slid in my DM because I done posted that I was sitting in a Rolls Royce, knowing that good and well it ain't mine. But Marie just hit me up and she fine and she live around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes, and people are on social media capping for that type of attention. And it's women out here like you and I that really want a whole husband, a real genuine one. But it's hard for us to find one because, you know, you have the women that are actually, they're predators. They're looking for married men because in real life they don't want to settle down. They want 5 married men on their line so they can get this bag from Joe, they can get these shoes from Maurice, they can get this trip from Craig.
Sabrina,
it's the truth.
You just nailed something there because there is some truth to the fact, look, you said we both want to be married. I don't know if I want to be married. I would like to be in a union. I would like to be in a partnership. I don't know if I need the government in my business.
Facts.
Sabrina Gandhi Consult said the DMV men are not hunters at all, exclamation point.
Yeah.
Slove BK21, they've adapted to this generation of women that chase men. Confessions of a Reality Queen. Hey, ladies. Oh, we look beautiful. Thank you. Loving us from Michigan. Yeah, all doesn't mean quality. Self-love and self-awareness are the superpowers. Thank you, Nip_free_. And that's what's happening to women like us. We are so concentrating on working on ourselves, loving ourselves, expanding, growing, evolving, making sure our daughters grow up self-aware, self-loving, strong. Exactly. We doing all that. We building up these women that are so incredible. And where are the men that match it? Where are they?
I mean, I'm still single, so obviously I haven't found them yet. But it's an unfortunate thing. But my thing is and that was the thing that I think that I did previously in my life was I was pressed. I was pressed, and I had to stop being pressed. And being pressed will land you in the wrong freaking relationship.
Yes.
Time and time and time again. And I had to really start loving myself and loving on myself more, because what happens is when you love on yourself and you have people around you that love you just as much as you love yourself, when something comes into your life that ain't really bringing you that happiness and it's falling a little short, it's not hard for you to let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I say this all the time, and I said it even on the show so many times, like, I'm happy.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't have the perfect life, but I am happy.
Okay, but Sabrina, I 100,000% agree with you. And 6'7" Crad, okay, boo. He said, yes, I think it's a man. Yes, a man who really wants you will gladly hunt and shower you.
With exactly.
6'7" Crad, please let us know how old you are and where you live. We want to know, because are you a unicorn, or do you represent just men that with intention, and that we just haven't met men who see us as that one, and we're meeting a whole bunch of frogs at this point? That's what we need clarity on that. Kalima 508, Sabrina, I would love to see you on your own show, Pursuing Love. Call me, I'll host it. That needs to happen. Kalima 508 said that. Where are these men? I'm tired of these frogs. Love Danny Knight. I know, I just said it. A whole husband. Yeah, a lot of us are looking for that. You still can get a husband, just stay consistent. Now, here's the thing. We are women of color. I've also heard that we need to open up our choices.
TANIKA, mine are open, honey. I have dated all different sizes, different races, different shapes, different ethnicities, different nationalities, different, all around different, and I still got the same results. Hence why I'm single. Like, I used to say that years ago, and that's why now it's easy for me to respond and say, no, that's not it. because I've done
Mm.
that. Because years ago, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to date outside of my race. Maybe I need to date. I need to start, stop looking at this and stop looking at that. Like I did that. So now I'm in a place where I did that years ago. And I can say to you, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I still got the same results,
No.
honey. I'm telling you, if they weren't lying to me, if they weren't cheating on me, they were beating on me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, keeping it 100. I've been through it.
Let me tell you, SMI got jokes. SMI underscore lesser good says, we need Aisha up here chiming in. She has figured it out. That's your answer. Nip underscore free underscore baby marriage is a man-made money making construct. Oh yeah. Marriage is a man-made money-making construct. Nip underscore free underscore. That's true. I'm good being single. I love it. I gotta tell you, I love my life too. I'm super happy. But I used to have a boo thing on the side. That's very convenient until you're like, wait a minute. Until your female comes over and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know what he's doing all the time. Is that fair to myself?
I haven't had a boo thing since last February. And
boo things are fun. But
I couldn't do it anymore. I said, you know what? If I can't have exactly what I'm looking for, I was like, I can't, because the boo thing started to stress me out.
Yes.
And it was just to the point where I was like, I picked this specific boo thing because this boo thing was a convenient situation, because I knew what they were going through. I knew I wasn't going to get the drama. I knew I wasn't going to have no one blowing me up, just because I was just in my own space. Like, I know when I'm ready for a relationship and when I'm not ready for a relationship. And I had just gotten out of a relationship for almost a year and I was still healing, but I have needs. You know what I'm saying? So, but having that boo thing, it honestly just stressed me out. And I said, you know what? How about I just heal? Just find myself more and really understand what I want in my next mate. And that's why when I started the show, I was like, hey, nobody tell me nothing. I was like, I'm healed. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Sabrina, perhaps that's part of the problem. And this what you probably get, what I get. You're intimidating. You're so confident and self-assured. It scares men.
You know what? Then they're not my men. I'll just keep being in my happy space.
Totally.
Until you can be an addition to my happiness. But if I intimidate you, then I am not the woman for you.
Thank you. I said that. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Be less. I'm like, good. I've done decades of being less. I am not doing that shit anymore. I'm just not. Absolutely. You either love all of this planet or keep going. Carry on, boo.
I have shrunk myself in so many different relationships.
So many.
And I wasn't happy. Even though they did certain things to make me happy in that moment, inside I was screaming. And I refused to be in another relationship like that again. And that's why I have discernment now. That's why I made the decision that I made on that bridge. No matter how I was, attracted to this person, no matter how much I felt like it was a connection there, no matter how much I felt like the aesthetics was popping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to look past all that, because that's the shit that got me in trouble before and ended up why I'm single now.
We like beautiful men too.
Yeah. Like, I'm not glutton for punishment. I'm not going to keep putting myself through the same thing over and over and over again. So if that relationship didn't work, unfortunately, and it happened on national TV, but if that relationship didn't work, I'm not going to blame him. Who am I going to blame? Me. Because I knew better and I know better. And now I'm going to continue to do better.
Absolutely. God bless you. No, you said something. You said there were parts of that relationship that did work for me and made me happy. But it was also the shrunken version of yourself that was finding joy in these shrunken moments. So it's like we're betraying ourselves in that situation.
Selling yourself dreams.
What I will not do, there's a song that I love off of Adele's album. I know everyone went crazy over Adele's album. Let me tell you, the #1 song I like on that is Oh My God. Oh my God, who knew that I'd be attracted to you? And then in it, it's like, I'm not going to betray myself, right? you could be fine, you could be this, but I am not. But people think I'm stupid, but I'm not going to betray myself. It's so good. The Kira Coco says, Tanika, are you going to let Tyrone take you out? So, Sabrina, do you see me and Tyrone as a match?
No.
Me neither. Thank you. Thanks, sis.
Yeah.
I just think I would crush him. I would be too strong. I would be too communicative. I just feel like maybe not. He's very sweet, though.
Yes, he is. He is.
Thank
but I
you for
don't
that.
see you two as a match. No.
No, but everyone's asking. It's so interesting. They're like, girl, you better let that man. He's so nice. And that's when I say a guy's nice, I already know, uh-oh.
Right. I'm gonna chew him up and spit him out.
Yes, it's not gonna end well. And I'm not gonna say, look, I'm coming to terms with all of my stuff in my relationship past. And I have really hurt some men. I've because I betray myself. Yeah. Because I decide not to look at the red flags. Because I'm an Aquarius, which means I'll stay. And then when I hit my brink, I'm like, I'm out. And with no discussion, I'm out. We don't have to talk about it. You can't convince me. No therapy. I'm out. Yeah. So that can be brutal. That can be brutal. What have been your greatest challenge? Oh, did you freeze? What have been your greatest challenges when you were, before you healed, that you've looked at, you're like, okay, that's been in my past. I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh God, my greatest challenges, honey, all of them. My thing is one of the things that I did in my relationships is because I'm a Leo and we love hard and loyalty is huge to us. Huge.
Yep.
So one thing that I did going into my relationships was I was acting like wifey straight off the bat.
Ooh.
That was one of my red flags to myself. And that was something that I had to say, stop it. Like, you're giving these men 100% and they're only giving you 75 and you're okay with that. That's a problem, Sabrina. You know what I mean? So yeah, stop acting like wifey to men that were not husband material.
Stop giving them wifey privileges when he is treating you like one of the others. It's horrific. Absolutely. One good light says they're twerkers, gold diggers, and investors, and then there's ladies looking for real love. Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a mixed bag at the Ready to Love reunion. And I'm not saying anybody's in any category, but the women were so different to me. Yeah. The women were all from different energy fields and different, and you're right, some found love, and I hope that they keep it. Yes. But also I think it's important to say that all the women were at different phases of their lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think Courtney was 30 and I want to say I was the oldest and I'm 46. Mm-hmm. So from 30 to 46, it was definitely a diverse range of women, but it wasn't that of men, I can say too much. Really? The men were pretty much all the same age? Well, the first thing is 6 out of 10 men were bald and beard. Well, that's the look these days, sis. Everybody wants a bearded man, right? That's hot. Yeah, but you know, if it's such a wide variety of women, they should have done that with the men too. It's funny because somebody was in my DM saying that Frank and Walter looked alike, and I was like, huh? Oh no, Dante and Walter looked more alike. Oh, maybe it was Dante. You're right. You're right. It was Dante. It was Dante and I still don't see that either, but okay, that's what people were saying. But let me tell you, in the beginning, I had to have a piece of paper with all the guys' names on it with certain qualities and the conversations I had in the very beginning, because I couldn't remember them all because they all look kind of familiar, like similar, not familiar, but similar. And I just was like, oh my God, was that Walt? No, was that, no, I don't think so. No. So yeah, right. So it was definitely, it did get confusing and I did have to take notes. That is so funny. But was that typically your type, a bearded man, or were you not even considering that? Had you dated a bearded bald man before? I've dated them all. Like when I say I've dated all different kinds of different varieties of men, I've literally dated them all. So hilarious. Nina 718315 says, can y'all add Aisha? They want Aisha. Tanika, you did a fab job at the reunion. Thank you so much. Well, if I don't think she follows me. I don't know if she follows Sabrina, but if you guys want to ping her and bring her in here, sure. Let's see where she is in her relationship. Be more conscious of the vibration that you're putting out. Yes, nip_free. Are you ladies setting the bar too high? Ooh. Ooh.
No, not at all. I set it low and still got the same results.
Well, you can't set it low because you don't want to. You want to set it. Look, I don't think it behooves any of us to set it low. You're good. Whatever you set it, whatever your intentions are, is what you're going to get back. I say set it high. You know, I've dated everybody too. I've dated a billionaire who was at this rolling car. He was very fancy, and he said something to me once that made me so sad for him, but also made me realize that I may not be able to date a baller because ballers are looking for particular women. They don't have time to woo you. He said, yeah, I know a lot of women sleep with me because I'm rich.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's pathetic and sad. And that means I can't sleep with you because that makes me feel a certain way. So if especially these ballers who've got very beautiful careers and they've got palaces and, you know, opportunity, they don't got time. So that's where the girls chasing the men comes into play. I get that. Yeah. That's where you need a woman who's constantly on you. You looking fine, baby. Hey, calling your phone, texting you, seeing you where you are, being a little possessive. I get that. So if that's a match that works, the other side of that, and I feel like I've been here and I don't want it, is to be the leader of a relationship where the guy's pursuing you, but you're kind of like in the mother role.
See, I've been in all of those situations, like literally. And I know it's sometimes when I talk to people, they're like, whatever, she ain't been in no, I've been in all of those roles. And that's why I am so secure with who I am. And I know exactly what I want because I've done that. I've done that. I've done those things. You know what I mean?
The mommy one is the least sexy, let me tell you. Being like the one that has to guide and tell them what life is, and how they can invest their money. That shit is not cute at all.
Yeah, it's not. And I can't do it anymore. I did. And I'm not going to say, and when I was saying setting the bar low, I guess because of the expectations that I had for the type of man that I wanted, I felt like my standards were too high. So I did have to slightly lower them. Like I didn't go real low, you know what I mean? Because it still needed to make sense.
Yes.
You know, but I did. And even doing that, I still got cheated on. I still got lied on. I still lied to. I still got, you know what I mean? Like it was a mess, and it was a lot of gaslighting, and it was a lot of dreams being sold, and it was a lot of love bombing, and a lot of women don't even understand what that is. And I'm telling you, y'all need to Google it. Y'all need to watch some videos on it. Love bombing is serious because I fell for it so many times.
Love bombing is great. Love bombing is,
but it needs to be consistent though.
And
It has to be consistent.
Then you're like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Oh, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
That's the worst because they do want to have. I think men, as much as women, want to be in love as well. But when they know how vulnerable we are and that we are looking for, we get sold all these rom-coms. We're all looking for a damn rom-com, right?
Yep.
We all want Love Jones in our life. And well, maybe Love Jones isn't the perfect example for everyone. I loved it. Like I want it to be cerebral, and I want it to be a little, you know, pull and push, a little bit of like Taming of the Shrew, maybe. That's my problem. I like a little drama.
I love it too, but it needs to be consistent.
Yes.
Like, don't do it just to get me and see, once I'm invested in you and we've been dating 6 months and you've been love bombing me for 6 months, 8 months later, you're not doing it. 10 months later, you're not doing it. And I'm over here miserable, sad, upset, depressed, not realizing what the hell happened, but all they did was to catch me. Then they got me. They didn't even have to pay no attention to me anymore. And I'm thinking the whole time it's me because that's what they're making me feel like. But I didn't understand what was happening. Like I really had to educate myself and really be mindful of the things that I did moving forward and thinking about all the relationships that I had been in previously. So it could really help me in my next relationship and not fall for the same shit.
Oh, God.
That's why sorry, Walter, but that's why I left you on the bridge because I saw red flag, red flag, red flag. As much as I wanted it to be like, it's pink, it's not really red. Like, how this was going to play out. This played out before you guys saw it. So when I left him at that bridge, I didn't know how America was going to perceive it. I just knew that I had to do what was best for me in that moment. And I was not trying to play myself on national TV because I knew better. I knew better.
How much pressure? Okay, so let me say, M. Galloway 33, there are a lot of people that haven't seen Healthy Love, so they can't give it. Don't settle, is what she's advising us. How much pressure was there to make it to the end of the show?
There was no pressure. We did it on our own. We decided to go to, you see what I'm saying? So my thing with me was, I wanted to go through the process, because who's to say 4 weeks into the process, I'm like, you know what, screw this. I don't even want to do this anymore. But then if I stayed, then 6 weeks into the process, I'm like, thank God I stayed, because look at Aisha and Dante's situation. They didn't connect until the very end.
I know.
So
that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, so that's why it was important for me to stay for the whole duration. I didn't know how it was going to end, but in the very beginning, I'm sure the audience and myself, we thought Sabrina and Walter are going to end up together.
Take me to, you're walking up to the bridge and this beautiful ensemble that you designed. You see that you're matching. He's standing in front of him. He gives you his spiel. What is going through Sabrina Seoul's head?
I was like, oh my God, I'm about to really hurt his feelings. I was like, I think I'm going to hurt his feelings. I was like, I wonder if he's going to be mad. I was like, I wonder, you know what? The first question I asked myself is, I wonder, is he going to choose me too? Because y'all have to understand, when I talk about him not communicating with me and not really being present, like that those weren't lies. That was the truth. I mean, it was, you know,
I believed you.
Yeah, it was here and there. It wasn't consistent, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So to be honest with you, regardless of how he may have felt, because we didn't talk, I really did not know if he was going to choose me too, because no one says that no one has to choose each other at the end. There's no rules. Mm-hmm. You do what you want to do. So he very well could have been on that bridge and said, you know, throughout this process, I really love you as a friend, XYZ, but I really feel like what the love part isn't there. It's just the friendship, but this is ready to love. And he kept saying that we were going to be great friends, no matter what, great friends. This is ready to love. So I really thought in my head, he might not choose me, you know? But
and maybe he didn't. That's why I asked him. And look, I'm so fascinated by the way people process shit, right? So that's why I asked him, did you regret choosing Sabrina? That was his opportunity, not anything against you, but for him to go, yeah, I wasn't really going to pursue that, because the most important thing in this scenario, he wants kids, girl. That is number one. That is number one. If he wants kids, you're 46, you've done it already. Not a match. That's how I was thinking.
So the thing is I get it. But the thing is in his head, I think he felt like he didn't have any regrets, because after seeing and watching his interviews and seeing the things that he was saying, he really thought that we were going to choose each other based on a friendship. And that is something that I thought that we just meant that we were going to be friends no matter what. But
Sabrina, for what reason?
See, I don't know. And that's what confused me when I would hear him speak about it. Because I was like, if he thought, and if I knew that that's what he meant, that we were going to choose each other as friends on the bridge, but this wasn't ready to be friends. You see what I mean? So I was confused, and maybe he was confused, and he thought that since we had this thing and we always said to each other, no matter what, we would be friends, and no matter how we leave this journey, I just didn't think that he expected me to leave this journey with him walking into the sunset and we're just friends.
Right.
I'm thinking love. Like I didn't come on the show to find, I was grateful that I had a friendship with him, but I came on this journey to find a love interest.
It's Sabrina, we don't have to overthink it. It's 100% not a show to find friends. You go on Facebook for that. It's not a friendship show. It is a love show.
Yeah.
It is a show that people find, a nugget of a spark
Right.
that they can then take off the show, and hopefully it grows into
Right.
a real
See,
relationship.
that's what I wanted, and that's what I thought that he and I were working towards. But when I wasn't getting that attention that I needed, you know, and it's not like he didn't know. It was times even when he went on my friend's date, one of my friends told him, like, Walter, you need to call Sabrina more, because those were one of the concerns that I had mentioned to my friends, was he doesn't communicate with me on a regular basis. Like, communication is huge for me, but I've said that always to anyone, to the women on the show, to the men. It's huge. I've said it to Tommy. You know, and
I would love to know what Tommy would think. I mean, that's the show that needs to happen, because he was with you guys the whole time and he got sort of robbed of the finale because of COVID. But my goodness, you could do a whole hour show on his take on what he saw on the reunion.
Yeah.
What his breakdown would be.
Especially our season, because it was a lot.
Well, this season was unlike any other season, girl. I was like, ooh, you turned it up a notch. I Put Me First said, in my opinion, Aisha is amazing, but everyone is using her as a prototype. I don't know what that means, but everyone is different. I hope all is well. I don't know what that means. They're using her as a prototype. Do you know what that means? I Put Me First. Can you give us more details? Men need a tall Delta 50. Men need to man up to strong women. We deserve to be ourselves, not overbearing, but determined in our goals, etc. Yeah. Melly Mel _231. Walter doesn't show no emotion. I wanted to shake him. He was kind of neutral. But then again, we have to remember, and I have so much empathy. He lost his wife. We can't forget, that's the most horrific thing that can happen to a man, is that he got all the way there. He probably did pursue her. They got all the way to marriage, and then he lost her. Yeah. Do you think maybe he wasn't ready yet?
You know, someone asked me that question, and it saddens me to even have this kind of conversation. But if you're asking me my opinion, even with my friends, because that was one of the things that I wanted my friends to talk to Walter about. See, the thing is, you know, and condolences for his loss, but it was almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago is a long time. So my friends were like, but what has he been doing for the last 20 years? You know, like, why doesn't he have kids? Like, can he have kids? Like, you know, and one of my friends was like, he seems like he's a player. In real life, they didn't show this, you know. But one of my friends was like, he seems like a player. Sabrina, you really need to watch your back. You know what I mean? Ooh. And I just was like, wow. I was like, you think so? And they were like, yeah, he giving me player vibes. And then they were like, you know, if he wants kids and he almost 50 years old, why he don't got no kids and his wife passed away 20 years ago? Like, what he been doing? What's going on? I don't know. Like, make it make sense. So those are the things that she, you know, said. And I was like, no, you're right. Because those are the concerns that I had. And those are the things that I said to them. But it was not shown. It was only shown that he had an amazing date with my friends. But, you know, when Sean's situation happened, it was like they showed something different. They didn't show both sides of both people.
Sean hated the experience so much, it made me giggle. He was like, this shit. He was so miserable. But with Walter, you know, just because time had passed doesn't mean that somebody heals, right? Had he been going to therapy? Has he worked through the trauma of losing somebody that he did?
You know what? He never talked about therapy, so I have no idea. I just know that he's talked about it, and I think it was like in 97. Don't quote me. Maybe that she passed. So I knew it was a long gap in between. So that's what a lot of even the viewers I seen in the comments, and that's what a lot of people ask. Like, well, what has he been doing for almost 20 years? And why doesn't he have any kids? And he's been dating these different people. So like, what's going on? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's a lot of questions. And
I'm gonna, well, obviously I don't know, but I have been in therapy a lot.
yeah,
I'm a fan of therapy. Get yourself an unbiased opinion,
yeah,
heal your wounds, deal with your shadow. All of us need it, especially people of color, more than anybody in the world
yeah,
needs to lean into it. I love that there's all these apps now that are so much more excessive than
yeah,
spending like $180 a session.
yeah,
But he could spend 50 years
yeah,
past his wife. But if he doesn't deal with probably the fear of caring again and then losing them, that is huge.
right. And
If
that
he doesn't deal with that, it doesn't mean anything.
and that's
Time
the
doesn't
second
matter.
part. And that's the second part of what you said about Walter and I and me having kids. So that was one thing that I learned about myself on the show. Was I came into the show because it was easy for me to just tell people, I don't want any more kids. I don't want any more kids. You know why? Because I didn't want another baby daddy. I didn't want to have to do it by myself. So when I heard Walter's story, I said to myself, I was like, wow. And I always said I wanted a girl and a boy. You know, I know it's complications after you have a child because my daughter was born when I was 37, and after you're 35 years old, you're considered a high risk. So the complications are a little bit more for after 35 years old. So I knew what I would have to go through if I ever got pregnant again. So after hearing his story, and it made me feel like, Dad, what if me and Walter really are a great connection? What if he is my guy?
Right.
And the only thing that would hold us from being not with each other is me feeling like I don't want no more kids. Not because I can't have a healthy child for him, because I want to be selfish and not have one for him. But if this is my husband and this is my guy and this is
Right.
the man that God brought into my life, and he's like, Sabrina, you're still healthy. I'm going to make sure this works down here for you. This is your man. Now you're going to have to figure it out. Why would I not grant this man a child?
Right. I mean,
But it has to make sense why I have a child for him. He needs to be my husband. We need to be financially secure. It needs to make sense. Will he be able to take care of me while I'm in the bed if the doctor says you need to have bed rest? But then guess what? I bring you a beautiful child 9 months later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind changing diapers. I love kids. I love children. I wouldn't mind it. But it was just easier for me to say, I don't want kids. But I did explain this to everyone after the process did move forward. Like, it needs to make sense for my husband.
Yeah, all of those technical things. Make sure the finances are straight. Make sure you guys care about each other. Make sure you love each other. But one thing that I think we don't speak about enough is to feel emotionally safe.
Yes.
Emotionally safe.
Exactly.
To go there. Because what men forget to consider is how much we go through. We do when there's a child in the mix. The men, if it doesn't work out, they're like, okay, I'm going to come see the baby Saturday afternoon. You're like, okay, but you got the kid all the time.
Yeah.
It changes our lives from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It changes their lives a little bit if they don't want it to change all
exactly.
the way. It's an option. It could be an option for them. It's never an option for us, right?
Yeah. Facts.
So being emotionally safe, you got to be this man has to go far and beyond. You, Sabrina, with all the lessons you've learned, have to be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Absolutely.
Nina 71835. One good thing, Sabrina, you met real women such as Aisha, Courtney, Sydney, Libba, and Carrie.
Yeah.
How are you ladies these days? You guys still connect? You still going out and partying?
Yes, I don't do too much partying with them. I wish I could, but they do.
You have a kid. I know.
Yeah. I have a lot of different responsibilities right now, but absolutely, we FaceTime each other. We talk to each other. They're able to spend more time with each other. They're actually having a get together in like the next week. We were just on live together last night.
Love it.
So the group, we do have a very close group, men and women. So we do have we do have a family, and we're actually very, very tight.
I love
Very
that.
tight. We have group chats where it's all of us, and you know, we support each other. If this person is going live, or this person has an event, or this person has something they're promoting, we do try to help each other out when we can. So there's a lot of love.
I wish Walter was here. I mean, you know, I think I missed I should have been a therapist because I love it so much. Just dig down, let's fix it. And people were coming for me like, you're like a nosy auntie. No, I'm rooting for love.
Yeah.
I want y'all to find each other.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I love you, Tanika. That ship has sailed, though. You know, and I'm going to keep it all the way 100. Because he recently did an interview, and it really hurt me to my heart, some of the things that he said.
Oh, wow.
So, and I think, and I can't even be mad because that was his truth. But a lot of it wasn't the truth. And it made me feel like, well, maybe he was doing it just to save face. I don't know. At this
what
point,
did he say? Wait. We got to know. I want to know in a nutshell what he said so we understand. And then I want to give a shout out to all my Aquarius brothers and sisters up in here because we feeling ourselves these days. It is the age of Aquarius. Back to you, Sabrina. What is something that he said that really made you content, even more so with your decision?
God, I didn't want to go into this situation on this live. But
you don't have to, obviously.
So I'm just gonna say this. It was just a point in his interview where he was like, Dag, you know, it's a lot of stuff I'm not saying because, you know, like I'm trying to protect you. But if you listen to his live, he wasn't protecting me at all. And I was like, Dag, Walter. It just really hurt my feelings. How he went about things, and sometimes how he explains things, just like about my past and my being an entertainer, being a dancer, and how it was like, talk about like how you felt about me being a dancer, but don't say in the same breath, because me as a dancer, yes, I was a dancer, but at the end of the day, I got my real estate license. I was selling real estate. I was selling life insurance. I was doing accounting for $1 million firm, and I was dancing. So it was like, let's talk. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it as a whole. And when he was explaining me being a dancer, it was like, you know, dancers, they turn tricks. They be tricking. And I'm just like, wow.
He said that?
I was like, did he just say tricking Sabrina and dancing like in the same sentence? So it just really made me feel some type of way. And it was just a lot of things he had mentioned that just weren't true, especially with situations where it was other people that were there. He had mentioned that I was drunk on my birthday, and it's other people there that can confirm I wasn't drunk at all, but he tried to use that as an excuse. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot of
Sabrina,
gas.
You know, first of all, I love your hair. I love your hair color. It is beautiful. Second, you know you are not to receive any of that.
I don't.
He's a Black man in America who on national television, the woman he said he wanted to be with said no. That's rough on his ego. So you're right. I think your gut instinct was probably right. He's got to save face, right? He's got to save face.
And I get it. And I said the same thing too. But you know what? I've done a lot of interviews too. But everything that I said in my interviews, I never bashed him. I never made him look bad. What I did was I stated the facts. And that's what I thought that he would do. You know, he was upset at the fact that I said he doesn't really date women over 30. And he's like, that was a lie. And I'm just like,
was it?
No, it was a whole conversation he and I had, and I don't think he really remembers, but we were talking about his recent ex-girlfriend and the age that she was, which was a very, very young age. And when he had mentioned her age, I was like, wow, Walter. I was like, that's kind of young. I was like, you really feel like you can be connected with a woman like that young? So it was within that conversation, but I think he might have blocked that conversation out because in a sense, I wasn't really attacking him, but I was just kind of like, make it make sense to me because someone that's young enough to be my
daughter,
pretty much grown daughter,
yes,
and I'm having relationships, or this man that just fresh out of college, I just don't know what I could really have in common with him.
Look.
So that was the conversation that I had, and he did kind of make that comment about him wanting children, and that's why he normally dated younger women, and you know, and he preferred women. I'm not saying he wouldn't date women over 30, but he preferred them to not really be over 30. He has his preference, absolutely fine. But for him to say that that was a lie, I just don't understand. Like, why would I just make that up? Like, where did I pull it out of my ass? I just don't understand.
Because
like, where,
it's
where
also because how people are. It's also because of how people are responding to him in his DMs. We have to all understand.
I
like
get
the
it,
world.
but don't make me look like trash. Like, I never trashed him. I never belittled him. I never, you know, because he was throwing sex parties. I don't even, because you know why? I was hearing that. I didn't know if that was true or not, so I never mentioned it. I only talked about his sex comedy shows, which is true, factual, and on the internet. And that's something he told me. I only discussed things that we talked about that made sense when questions were being asked.
Okay, wait. This is my first time hearing this. So it's okay for him to throw sex comedy shows, but it's not okay for you to take care of your daughter on a pole? Like, that's insane. For real? I never heard of that before.
See,
it's okay.
I'm feeling some type of way, but there are, see, the thing is because I guess you haven't really watched like in the interviews and watched the show, so you really and
I watched the show,
but I'm talking to you as if you know too, and I feel like I don't want to seem like I'm repeating things and I'm spilling beans or anything, but it is. I mean, it's out there now. They're on our interviews, and oh God, yeah.
Wow. Well, first of all, you shouldn't feel guilty about it. Look, I wasn't even aware I was going to host the show until Thursday night. We shot on a Sunday. So everything was last minute for me. It was the first time I didn't catch a season because I'm busy. I have a kid. We're trying to not catch COVID. We have a lot going on. And it was the first season I didn't see. So, oh my God, I've got to travel on Friday. Saturday, I sat up in a hotel. I watched all the episodes over and over and over. Sunday, let's go. But you have to understand, I've been in these streets. I know how to host a show. But that doesn't mean since then I've watched everybody's interviews. I haven't.
Yeah. So
I didn't know.
That was the big thing. So, and and because you asked me, but those are the reasons that I had the issues that I had,
And they're valid. Sabrina, never feel bad for that. Yeah, I believe each time we make a powerful decision and we advocate for ourselves, we're getting closer to our man. Look, my sis, Lisa Nichols, she is a world-renowned life coach, motivational speaker. If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, oh, her. Yeah. Single, had a baby at like 16, poor, became a life coach and a speaker around the world. She just found her king. Yeah. Who matches her in all of her success. She's like, no, nah, no. Yep. Until the crown appeared and she's like, yes.
There you are. Exactly. And that's how I want it to be. I don't want to, I want it to be like, there he is. I feel it. I feel like the universe sent him to me. I feel like when I look at him, I see God, honey. When I look at him, I feel happiness. I feel love. Because he is love. Yes. Like, that's what I want. I want to feel so covered and safe. And you know what I mean? Like, I want to feel those things. I haven't felt that yet. And until I feel like that, I'm not gonna settle. I'm not gonna ignore these red flags. These pink flags. I don't care if it's the yellow flag and I got the yield on the play. I'm not gonna do it. I'm tired. I'm a happy person, and anyone that comes into my life needs to be an addition to my happiness. Yes. If they can't add to my happiness, I don't need you because I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm not perfect. My life ain't perfect, but my soul and spirit is good.
Who are we to invite people in to make it worse? No, thank you. I'm going to give some shout outs. We have Elove H1. I'm 50. He's 44. No kids. I'm the mother. Bless you, sis.
Yeah.
That's not for me. I know it's for some people. It's just not for me. I've done it. It makes me unattracted to them.
Yes.
It makes me like never want to open my legs. So for me.
Absolutely. And that's where I'm at right now. And that's why I literally have not been with anyone giving my soul to them, because souls do tie, in over a year now. Like, I can't, and I won't.
What you just said, Sabrina, people need to hear more of.
Yeah.
Every time we have sex, y'all, souls get tied.
Yes.
It's biology.
Yes.
Whether you want this guy to be tied to you in some way or not, we women especially, souls get tied. And then that's where the pain is.
Exactly.
That's when the pain is, when you realize he's shenanigans. You're like, oh God, that's painful.
Exactly.
Lulu, wait, what is this? Lula B Designs. Do you know them? There are so many easy ways to communicate. A busted man can still call, a bust man, I don't know, can still call, text, or DM. They can also say hi if they have a minute, but wanted to hear your voice. Hi, I don't have a minute, but I wanted to hear your voice. Men will always do what they want. And then Elaine Dev says bar too low is a waste of time. Yep. Kim D _24, go where you're celebrated.
Absolutely. And not part-time celebrated, when it's convenient for you. And that was something that I did too. When it was convenient in my face, they celebrated me. But then it was like, when I was gone, it was like, oh, I hit her up. I mean, like I said, what I went through on the show with multiple men, because I just didn't date Walter, with multiple men, I went through in my past relationships. That's why I was like, no, I'm not going to. But I still wanted to be open to the process and go through the process, because this was something for me to actually do too, because I was ready for love, because I have been single for 2 years with 3 really bad relationships under my belt. So I said, this is really I'm going to prove to myself that that I'm ready to love now. Whatever decision. So if I end up with someone, a love interest, or someone that I'm feeling, and it was because America even saw that this union needed to happen. You can see the energy that they have on screen. Or it was, Sabrina, you better not choose him.
You got those too?
You know? Yeah, right. So it's like, and I found out that I am ready to love, because 90 to 95% of Americans were saying, don't do it, Sabrina. Facts. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100.
Well, let's celebrate that. I mean,
we are celebrating it.
We didn't get the guy, but you got even closer to knowing if you had any doubts.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. That's how come I know now. If I had any questions about, am I ready to love? This show showed me, Sabrina, you are ready to love.
Yes. Kira Coco wants to set me straight. Love is not a rom-com. It's quotable, but it's not a rom-com. Yeah, she's right. She's right. Aziza Work, drama equals trauma. Yep. Bold black girls, don't start what you can't finish. Whew. Aisha is here. Aisha's here? Where's Aisha?
I think I seen a couple people tag her. I didn't know if she ever came, because I'm not really looking at the comments.
Let me tell you, all the questions are from one person just saying, hey, how are you today? James Fraser Michael. Hi, James Fraser Michael. 3 questions for him. 45.
Oh God, I think Corey is in the chat. Do you know who Corey is? First Day King. Corey, the one that was on the show. Corey, he started crying, and I was like, well,
Corey, I don't know if we have space for you in this chat.
I don't know. I don't know. No, we don't. We love Corey, but he's saying I should have chose him. No,
sir. Corey, look, I'm a rider for all of y'all, but Corey, babe, I'm glad they edited your part, because what you said on stage was very, very concerning to me. And I do think he should seek some counseling. I do.
Yeah.
And it's nothing saying he's crazy, none of that. But he needs to untangle his thought process about what love is. He does. Yeah. He does. He's a very, and I love that I saw a different side, but there are still people who are saying he was acting the whole time. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Everyone's an actor these days, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Luna, and I know you're friends with him, which is great, and hopefully you can steer him.
Yeah, but I'm a true friend. I'm one of those friends that's going to tell you when you're right, when you're wrong, when you're being ugly, when you're not being nice. When I'm that friend that's going to keep it 100, like, you need to go talk to somebody, boo. I love you, but you know, like, yeah, I'm not that friend that's going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not.
He probably needs more people like that in his life. Miss Pretty _P. Seriously though, that's what's the best thing you could be. Wow. I think it means that's the best you could have done for yourself, right, Miss Pretty? Yeah, that's the best you could have. People are very, I mean, you had like 100% support, which is kind of amazing on one of these shows. So that must feel even better. That you got on that bridge and you're like, I'm about to hurt someone's feelings.
And I had no idea it was going to turn, because I really thought, I was like, it's going to be a hit or miss. I was like, America's either going to love me or America's either going to hate me. But I wasn't doing this for America. I knew how I wanted to be portrayed on national TV, because you guys have to remember, like, we're filming. All this is filmed before it even airs on TV. So I didn't know how anybody was going to think, how anybody was going to feel. I just knew that it's a possibility he could have not chosen me, but I knew when it was time for me to make my decision, I knew he just was not the right. He wasn't my guy. He's somebody's guy. He's just not my guy, you know?
But isn't that amazing, Sabrina? Because I've been dating, oh God, I can't even, oh my God. When you think about how long you've been dating as a human, it's unbelievable amount of time. And then you just aren't going to fall for the same thing. Each relationship sets you up with more superpowers, right? Absolutely. Each relationship, you're like, okay, I'm not going to fall for that. Okay, that's that bullshit. Okay, man. Each one. And so now I'm like, nothing but authentic intentions is going to make it past the force field.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why I know exactly what I want. I know what the red flags look like you said, and I'm dating intentional right now. Yes. So and it has to make sense. And I'm going to go into each situation very unapologetically. Like, I'm not like, this is me. I'm not perfect, but guess what? I'm going to love on you and be the best queen but like you just said, I've had so many failed relationships where this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. So it's like, I see the red flags in all the different situations. So you can't come into my life now and think that you're going to sway me and woo me and I'm just going to fall for it, because I'm not going to. I've been there. I've done that. You can try it with someone that's a little bit more naive, but I'm not going to allow you to do that to me, because I know better. And that's what I said earlier, I'm going to do better. That's right. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, never sorry. Right. Sorry, never sorry. SMI _ lesser good says in the question, so Walter had a whole girlfriend. He was kissing on Shiloh at a party and thought he could have Sabrina. So I don't know what that exactly means, but they're offering that into the conversation.
Okay, so I was not at the party where he allegedly kissed Shiloh, but there were a few people that said they saw it and confirmed. But like I said too, in his interview, he's mentioned a lot of people were lying on him, and he didn't appreciate people lying on him. So I'm going to say that, like I said, there were more than 3 people that said that they saw this, but I cannot confirm because I was not there. Okay.
Now, and that's the thing that's hard about these kind of dating shows, is that you're dating multiple people. There has to
Yes.
be, it requires a high level of maturity.
Right. And my thing is if you did kiss her, admit it. Like, I don't care. You're not mine. But it's like, if it did happen and I have X, Y, A, and G telling me that it happened, and the only people that are saying that it didn't happen is one of the two parties,
Yeah.
but it's like the honesty. But when the honesty isn't there, that just kind of makes me look at the situation sideways, and it's hard for me to move on because, as I'm moving on, I have these things in the back of my head thinking, like, did that really happen? Did that not really? I don't really know. And the situation with his girlfriend, it was someone he was dating. They had recently they were dating, I think, for like a year and a half, but they had recently broke up probably a couple weeks prior to the show starting. But then after the show was being filmed, they were still having sexual relations. So, and then it got back to me, and then like, it was all these, it just made me feel like the universe was trying to tell me something, because the first time it was introduced to me about his ex-girlfriend and them still having relations was from a cast member, and then another cast member confirmed it. But I didn't want to go in believing the cast members. But a week and a half to maybe 2 weeks towards the end of filming, I had a friend, a personal friend that I've known for a long time, come to me and tell me that they knew him and her, and they knew for fact they were having personal relations. And once they showed me the receipts, I was like, even if I didn't believe the castmates, I'd be stupid at this point, because I feel like the universe is saying, red flag, red flag, red flag. Like, I'm sending it to you by a hawk. I'm sending it through fire flames. I'm sending it through smoke signals. I'm going to send you a pigeon next. If you don't get it, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's a whole show in itself.
Yeah. So I was like, come on, Sabrina. I was like, stop it.
I mean, there was one cast member we did not have on the show. And have you spoken to Shiloh since?
I don't speak to Shiloh. I do not.
Does anybody speak to Shiloh?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask anybody's. I don't.
You know what? You did that a couple times to me on the reunion, and I was living for you, because in my ear, they kept saying, ask Sabrina what you thought about one of the brown skin girls. Name escapes. Nine's girl. What's her name? Zadia. And somebody said they loved how you spoke your truth to her. They wanted you to express how you felt about Zadia's relationship. And you were like, ain't paying my bills.
Oh no, that was actually Camille and Cornelius.
That was Camille.
Yeah, I was like, they not buying my groceries, paying my mortgage or my car notes. I was like, until that happens, I was
hollering. I was like trying to stay professional, but I was like, that's what I would say. It was hilarious. But it's true. We got to stay out of other people's business. We really do.
Yeah.
TV Diva says, I believe Walter is still in mourning, and he may be afraid to show his emotions. He's afraid of loss. Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, K_Marie, you want to start therapy this year? Do it, mama. Do it. It's the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
Not somebody that knows your history, not your mama, not your friends.
Exactly.
Somebody that knows nothing about you, that's just from
unbiased opinion. Exactly.
The best. Poised shapewear, just because he has no kids doesn't mean something is wrong with him. Okay, that's a good point of view. Look, we've been on this thing for an hour. I could talk to you for hours.
I love it.
But we ain't doing that today.
No.
But thank you for coming on, because I actually posted something yesterday that's like, where are we with this? And what are we going to do as grown-ass women who love themselves, confident, are aware of the shenanigans, aren't trying to get in the shenanigans again, have self-esteem and have boundaries? What are we going to do, y'all?
Yeah. We have to start with ourselves. And that's why I tell people too, it's amazing that people are out here getting therapy. I commend you. But guess what? it doesn't stop just with the therapy.
No, it
Like
doesn't.
you have to start at that point working on yourself now. The work has to come from inside so it can portray outside. Because once I realized my therapist had a therapist, I was like, wow, the healing doesn't just stop with my therapist. It needs to keep going with myself.
Yes.
So, and that's one thing that, you know, people need to understand too, but you have to know your worth. You have to love on yourself so much. You have to remember that you are the prize. You are the prize. You are the prize. You are a queen. You deserve the best. You deserve a man to love on you like he is the last man on earth that God sent to you to love on you, honey, because that was his job. He was placed on this earth to be your soulmate, to love you exactly how you were supposed to love. Do not settle. Stop going for the man. Stop going for the man that paid a bill or two, okay? Stop going for the man that's saying the right things. Stop going for the man that's driving the nice car, okay? You gotta love yourself, but once you love yourself and you know your worth, I can tell you the decisions moving forward with the mate that you are supposed to have, it won't be no questions because you know exactly the place where you're coming from. And it's solidified because you are healed.
Woo! That's the goal.
Facts.
We didn't come here to be friends. We came here to really find our greatest relationship with self. And we cannot find our true happiness through other people.
Absolutely. You
You
can't.
have to be like, oh my, I'm a complete universe.
Complete universe. Because if you're looking for that happiness in someone else, what happens when they leave? What you got? A bunch of sorrow and depression and sadness. Do you want that? No, you know. And remember, you can't pour from an empty cup, honey. You gotta come with your cup fulleth, honey. Okay. So when you pouring out of it, because you've done that work and that healing, every time you pouring out of it, when stuff goes over, you so full of yourself, it fills up every time it spilleth over, honey.
Shout out to the Aquarians out there. That's what we do. We poured a cup, baby. We poured a cup. You just spoke about us. It's what we do. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
So we will continue to be fabulous, to step into our queendom, to not lower our standards.
Absolutely.
Because whoever God has for us is going to be there in the right time.
Yep.
But right now, you got to work on your clothing line. You got to work on your raising your daughter. We got things to do. We have incredible friends. We have abundance everywhere. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of God getting him together and getting ready for us. The men got to catch up. Y'all got to catch up. They got to
catch up. It's a lot of amazing women out here, and they passing us by, man. They passing us by, but it's all good.
It's all good because these men,
all good.
These men that are going for, and it's fine, you have preferences for young because you want kids, but that woman is not going to be at the same level of evolution as a grown woman.
Exactly.
So she can only help you grow so much.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
I want to be in an equally yoked relationship where we can expand
and grow together. Exactly. I need to come together with someone that they have a foundation, I have a foundation, and we build from that strong foundation up. Yes. I don't need to start off with gravel and rocks and dirt and you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
Sabrina, I'm going to freak you. You know, I'm very spiritual. I'm very psychic. I just looked down at my phone. I haven't been on my phone. It's just been sitting there, and look, you can't read it. But it says, God heard you. He's working on it. Just be patient.
I receive. Snap, snap, snap.
That is so weird.
I love it. I'm spiritual too, so I love it. I accept. I receive.
Thank you, God. We accept.
Yes.
Hold our hands.
Absolutely. We're going to hold our hands up. Pour it from the full cuppeth.
We want sexy body. No, I'm just kidding. Start to write your list, y'all. We're going to make it manifest. That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
Cupcakes and Stuff Catering said, yes. Okay, guys, we could do this forever, but we got to go.
Okay.
Much love. I actually am supposed to be a part of a Tony Robbins ceremony, event right now online. So I gotta go
Okay.
because I'm constantly feeding myself. I'm
Yes.
constantly evolving. I'm constantly bettering my life. So where are you men who are doing the same?
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
When
Thanks
it's
for
when
hanging
it's the
out
right
with me,
timing.
Sabrina.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Love you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. We might have to do this again. What's happening?
We should. Let me know, sis. I got you.
I love it. Sabrina, we got your back, babe. You got this. Oh, my roommate from Spelman just joined. Maybe that was a while ago. Okay, much love, guys. Be well. We might do this again. Stay in touch. But I do a podcast, just in case anybody doesn't know. I don't know how to pin a message, but I do a podcast called Mama Stay. And it's all about momming as fuck while bossing your life to the greatest degree. All the trials and tribulations of momming. See, motherhood is the center of the universe, right?
Absolutely.
Or there would be no mankind. Everything that we know about ourselves is validated and it's justified and it's amplified by our being moms, right?
Yep.
And if you aren't a mom, you're a daughter, and there's some incredible lessons. My podcast this week that I launched is with Lisa Ray, the actress, who's got incredible jewels, tips, and tricks for everybody out there. So you want to check out Mama Stay with TANIKA Ray everywhere where pods play. You can also go click the link in the bio. But you and I probably need to do a Mama Stay episode.
I think we should absolutely do that.
Yes, that would be awesome. Much love, Mama Sita. It's so good to meet you and to be able to talk to you after that reunion, like we're real people. And
absolutely, and shoot it. I love it.
Yes, much love, sis, and continued success.
Thank you. You too. I'll see you later. See you guys later.
Bye. Much love, guys. Peace. 5 years.